Hello. It's time for something which is called Final Fantasy XIV. And specifically, it's time for a healer role quest. I may also do physical ranged role quests today, but I think I should probably try to pace my streams a bit more, so it could also be a shorter one. I'm worried about my hand and wrist having problems again. But anyway, here's Sukar taking a nap. Sukar, wake up! You ever wake up and just stand up on your bed? I don't. So yeah, healer role quest. Also, I'd like to issue a correction. At the end of the previous stream, when I was in this room rambling about Phantasy Star Portable 2 Infinity and describing the playable characters, I completely forgot beasts. Which is a crime, and I'm going to go to jail for 1,000 years. There are animal people in that game also. Beasts are only in the Phantasy Star Universe subseries of Phantasy Star. They have the ability to nanoblast, which means they turn more beast-like and go crazy for a bit. Go apeshit, etc. However, they also have really terrible accuracy, so I'm not likely to actually play as one because accuracy is really important. Yeah, it's basically like Nanoblast is basically the same thing that happens in the first Arcadian fight. Like, you start off as a cat girl and you become a girl cat. More or less. I believe I have a picture of a beast as an example. Here is a beast in PSU. She has cat ears, or beast ears of some sort. Anyway. Oh, I've also, I think I figured out a character to play as in, if I do play Infinity. Here she is being a dork. Surprise, it's regular human. Because I learned of a silly gimmick build that I haven't tried. Anyway. The game that's actually important at the moment. Like a necromancer? You know, I guess maybe. Maybe a space necromancer. It's more like a goofy superhero to me. Or like a goofy, edgy superhero. Because of the mask. Anyway. Healer role quest, which I know very little about. I've heard it's silly, which is the case for many of the role quests. Hello. In the sting of things. I don't remember the deal with this exactly, but I'm sure it'll be apparent quickly. What business do you have with me? I'm a healer. Ah, my apologies. You were Brook Ivu's guest, were you not? I am Yapine, and I have journeyed far from the northern valleys of Jactural to reach this grand city. Tell me, traveler, what is your name? Sucro. Rest assured I shall remember it. A shame that we must meet under these unfortunate circumstances. My village's prized possession was among the treasures stolen by the passage of the Unbound. It is known as the Heartsting, and the soul of a dread scorpion, one of the Tural Vidral, is sealed within. The creature once hunted its prey using an array of toxins produced within its body and was a menace to all. I don't follow how the pattern leads this to bees that magnetize glass, but that sounds probable, even though it's a scorpion. Those granted the Heartsting's gifts may wield this fearsome power as they see fit. So it's a scorpion and it does toxins. That seems like normal for scorpions. We believe the thieves have already taken across the ocean to Eorzea, and it will doubtless wreak havoc in the wrong hands. Thus, I seek a healer to remedy any harm wrought by the Heartsting's toxins in that faraway land. I won't mince words. You're precisely the sort of woman I seek, and we must act quickly to avoid the worst. Will you lend us your aid? Aiding those in need is what I do best. Fine, but don't expect any miracles. Helping people's what I do best. You have my gratitude. The matter at hand, then. While I was making inquiries here in Tuliolo regarding the thieves' whereabouts, some Eorzean merchants told me a rather intriguing tale. Specifically, those returning from Limsalominsa bring fell tidings, tales of able-bodied men and women suddenly losing their vision. An all too familiar account is the Heartsting allows mastery over all manner of poisons, including those that inflict temporary blindness. A great deal of training is required to properly utilize the Scorpion's gifts, but the blinding toxin is one of the simplest to wield. It seems to me that the brigands are the masterminds of these strange incidents, harnessing the treasure's power for their own nefarious ends. I wonder, what determines how difficult one of the Scorpion's toxins is to use. Do you have to, level up your spirit bond with the artifact or something? Loshkana, the village elder's daughter, makes for Limsalominsa in pursuit of the Heartsting. I intended to set sail with her, but my foot was badly injured by a strange mechanical doll during the thieves' ambush. Right, one of them was the puppet master. I forgot. There was one with a mammoth. One of the Unbound. Loshkana insisted I remain here to recover, and she would not take no for an answer. I must ask that you cross the sea in my stead and provide Loshkana your aid. Considering that our enemy wields deadly poisons, the danger is too great for her to face alone. Based on when she departed, I presume she's arrived at her destination by now. She boarded a merchantman captained by a woman named Baldbrida, who is primarily based in Limsalominsa. She may be able to help you locate Loshkana. Nod. Yay, I sold things for money. I need to make money more. Yeah, spirit bond is the word I was thinking of. It's part of the equipment. Limsalominsa. A place I very rarely go. There's a script exchange over here. I guess that makes sense because that's where the ocean voyages are. Aye, I'm Bold Brita, and if you were planning to sell your healing services to me and my crew, don't. Me ship ain't setting sail for a short while. Eh? Looking for a Tiroli woman named Loshkana? Aye, she made the crossing with us, trying to retrieve some sort of treasure, as I recall. I told her Hawker's Alley was her best bet for the latest chatter, so you may find her wandering thereabouts. Keep an eye out for a Huron lass in a red tunic carrying a spear on her back. She can't have gone too far. Ah, Dragoon. Oh no, there's thunder outside. Yesterday, the thunder outside cut my power out. There seems to be... It seems like that's happening more often lately with thunderstorms here. So if the stream abruptly explodes, that's why. It was only a little bit of thunder, like just now, but that's something you should be aware of. Hello. Oh, hello there, stranger. Can I help you? Your spear looks kind of like a harpoon to me. Yepene sent you to help, did he? Seeing as I've hit something of a dead end, your timing couldn't be better. I suppose proper introductions are in order, then. I'm Loshkana of Jacques Tarral. And you are? I'm a cat. A pleasure to meet you, Sucro. It's funny whenever I say that, and then they're like, ah, Sucro, yes. Just like somehow they gleaned this information from that statement. With that, we're strangers no longer. I'm not sure how much Yepene's already told you, but I assume you'll want to hear more about the day of the theft. Nod. My father and Yepene had just sent a trap using one of the Heartsting's toxins, and were on their way to return the treasure to its resting place. Okay, so this group of people is frequently using their artifacts, which is new for the ones we've done. But an evil presence stirred in the wilds that night. Mechanical dolls with great glowing eyes leapt from the shadows and gravely wounded them both. My father survived the encounter, thankfully, but he was unable to give chase, and convalesces now in my home village. That could be true. The culprit's faces eluded him in the darkness, but he heard two voices, a man's and a woman's. He recognized neither, so we're certain they aren't from our village. Whoever those two were, they must have been the ones controlling the dolls before making off with the Heartsting. Brook Evu said they're part of the Passage of the Unbound, but I'm afraid that's all I know of the culprits. Still, that may change if I can ascertain the cause of the recent blinding incidents that have occurred here. Unfortunately, I haven't had much luck asking around. The thought of addressing even one person here is, well, overwhelming when you're from a remote village like mine. The few I've attempted to speak with were too busy to even listen in the first place. You, on the other hand, look ready to take on the world, or at least the city. I'm sorry to ask this so soon after we've met, but could you help me gather the latest hearsay at the markets? Nod. Many thanks. I'll search the quieter districts for clues in the meantime, and hopefully not get myself lost along the way. Alrighty. When Sucro demands information, you have to respond. I don't know why I lost Cardia at some point. Does that, like, go away when you change areas or something? The recent chaos in the markets. I'm told the Yellow Jackets have been thoroughly investigating the matter in cooperation with the Adventurers Guild. If you're in a hurry, there's a Yellow Jacket making her rounds by way of the Fisherman's Guild. He'd be a good one to ask. Imagine if this was just suddenly the Yellow Jacket from the Rogue questline brought back for no reason. Blinding incidents, I know of them. Started with some bad fruit at a stall in Hawker's Alley. A few bites in, folks suddenly go writhing on the ground like beached sea serpents, claiming they can't see a bloody thing. I don't blame them for raising hells with the shopkeep neither. Poor sods couldn't move an elm until the treatment came and they could see properly. Shopkeep was rightly furious about the whole ordeal, and took it up with his longtime supplier, escalated into a real spectacle it did. Turns out the same problem was occurring at other stalls and with fruit from different suppliers. So it don't make sense to pin the blame on individual sellers if the whole supply chain's tainted. Even now, nobody knows what's causing it. Grim business, I tell ya. Took nearly a dozen merchants to make them stop fighting. I keep forgetting to talk to people more than once. Why, yes, I know about the blinding incidents. I experienced it firsthand. I was rather peckish, so I purchased some fruit from a local stall and took a few bites on my way home. Before I knew it, my vision went dark. I stood there shaking and crying, terrified of what would happen if the darkness never faded. I thought I was alone until I heard a woman nearby howling with laughter. Fortunately, I didn't suffer long. A passing adventurer cued my sight with Isuna, and I went about the rest of my day as though nothing happened, but I haven't been able to look at fruit the same way since. Isuna mentioned in dialogue is funny to me a little bit. Seek out the Yellow Jacket on patrol. Also, just like random adventurer passing by casting Isuna on someone is funny too. I wonder if an NPC has ever mentioned, like, dying and then being resurrected by a random healer that wandered by. I forgot it worked for the Tonberry Plague. Sunny Yellow Jacket. It isn't anyone that I know, it's a cat instead. Well, be good, you're Sucro Funk, aren't you? The Sucro Funk? It's an honor to meet the realm's vaunted hero up close. Is there aught I can assist you with? I hear all sorts on my rounds, so if it's information you're after, you've come to the right person. Well, yeah, not... It's more like unconscious or near death or something. It's like stabilizing someone in Dungeons and Dragons, maybe. I don't know. Oh yes, the serial blindings. They're causing a terrible ruckus around here. You know, a woman in red came this way a few moments ago to ask about the very same. I take it you two are acquainted. Nod. Ah, I thought so. As I told her, another incident was reported yesterday morning. The victim bought fruit from a local vendor, took a few bites, then temporarily lost all vision, same as the rest. The vendor in question was last seen to the south of the Octant, so I'm headed there next to follow their trail. You're welcome to join me if it'll help your investigation. Shoutouts to any of the Final Fantasies where they show characters attempting to use Phoenix Down, Raise, etc. on characters that are like super dead. Okay, like, the male Lalafell death pose makes this more comical than it should be. I can't move! Sucro, is this man going to be alright? He's paralyzed, we gotta do something. But I've no talent for healing magics, and I don't have any spine drops on me either. Perhaps Asuna might do the trick? Spine drops also mentioned. Yeah. I'm healed. I'm healed. Oh, thank the 12. And you lot, of course. Excellent work, Sucro. Sunny Yellowjacket's voice changing every text box. On behalf of the Yellowjackets, I owe you my thanks as well. Now, I hate to ruin the mood, but I'll need to report this to my superiors. Could you tell us what transpired here before we found you, sir? She's turning into also being vaguely southern. Vaguely having the Sucro voice. It was awful. Just awful, I tell you. I was walking home after another arduous day at work, minding my own business, when a Lalafellan merchant suddenly called out to me. You, my good man, look exhausted, he said. Why not soothe your weary spirit and fill your empty belly with one of the realm's sweetest apples? You've earned it. Nay, you deserve it. Apple? 'Twas a tempting sales pitch, but I wasn't keen to gamble on potentially cursed fruit. Sensing my apprehension, he proudly declared his merchandise safe to eat. He sounded sincere enough. He even took a bite of the apple himself. No tainted fruit here, he boasted. Just normal, honest to God's produce. He sold me the apple at a reasonable discount and all seemed well. He gave you the one that was bitten into? Instead of, like, a fresh one? That is until I took my first bite and numbness spread through my body like wildfire. I collapsed to the ground, struggling to speak a single word. The vendor and his fruit had suddenly betrayed me, yet I knew not how. As I fell, a woman's shrill laughter echoed from a few yalms away, and the vendor soon followed. I never saw the woman for myself, with the whole not being able to move business, but between her laughing fits, she made mention of a heart sting or some such. Oh, you poor dear. And this woman you mentioned, you're positive she spoke the word heart sting? Nod. As surely as the wind blows, for a mercy neither she nor her vendor friend tried to steal my belongings. But they've certainly stolen my dignity. I hope those conniving charlatans get what's coming to them. This is a dangerous fruit we're dealing in. First blindness, now paralysis? First things first, I should escort this man home. If you've a mind to pursue the perpetrators further, then have care out there, alright? Yeah. For sure. They're definitely, like, doing it to prank people, given that they're, like, pranking random people and then, like, laughing a lot about it and running away. There's no doubt about it, then. Our thieves are at large right here in Limsalominsa. The blinding toxin is simple enough to master, but it's unsettling how quickly they've learned to inflict paralysis as well. Pranks that they are using to level up until they unlock instant death toxin, so they can kill Merlva with an apple or something. See, they have to get, like, all the different weapons to learn the different skills from, and, like, the progression curve is such that the less useful ones are at the start of the game, and then the more powerful ones are, like, behind an obscure side quest at the end. I'm talking like they're Viera assassins from Final Fantasy Tactics Advance specifically, but that's probably not quite the case. I just don't see what purpose this all serves. Were you able to learn anything of their motives? So they take pleasure in their victim's pain, but nothing more. At least, nothing more that we know of. Whatever their true aim may be, we must discover it quickly before more victims suffer at their hands. The hunter must adapt to their environment if they wish to snare their prey, but I have so much to learn about this place. Still, I've tracked them this far, which is a good start. For the time being, I'd like to petition those officers in yellow for any new information they acquire on the Heartsting's whereabouts. When we come across any promising leads, I hope I can count on your support again. I forgot that that particular thief prank existed in that game. I wasn't ready for that quest title. Causing problems on purpose, huh? Well, that seems promising. Causing problems on purpose. Say, Sucro, can you spare a moment? Questioning head tilt? I'll try to start on a positive note then. The good news is that there have been no further incidents involving poisoned fruit. I should be happy about that, but it's not exactly conducive to tracking down our thieves. Despite my best attempts, my investigation's at a standstill. Sucro! I bring news from the Coral Tower. A Lalafellin man matching the description of that fruit vendor was seen leaving the city with a Huron woman. Seems they were making for Aleport. We've increased patrols of late, so if I had to guess, the culprits are finding it harder to operate within the city. Seems we forced them to withdraw for the time being. Aleport, you say? That's on this island, isn't it? Yes, that's right. It's possible to go on foot, but the ferry by the Fisherman's Guild could take you straight there. While we Yellow Jackets must continue to keep an eye on things here, it's reassuring to know an adventurer of Sucro's caliber's on the case. If you plan to pursue the suspects, Aleport's your best bet. Nod. That said, I should get back to work. It was an honor to meet you and your friend, Sucro. Safe travels to you both, and give those crooks a good thrashing for me. I was almost an important enough character to have a name. Bye! The city's protectors place so much trust in you, in your abilities. I'm lucky to have you on my side. Smile. When I first set sail for Eorzea, I feared I'd never see the Heartsting again, but we're one step closer to bringing it home. In any event, we'd best find our way to the port town before that pair of troublemakers defiles another fruit supply. I'll go on ahead and take the ferry. Meet me in Aleport once you're ready. You ever get weirdly attached to a character from a video game that is not even important enough to be named? I remember it back when I first played A Link Between Worlds. For some reason, I really liked the character Thief Girl, who was a prominent character and gameplay mechanic in one of the dungeons. She never got a name, but I thought she was neat. That's a fate. What am I doing? One of these days, I'm gonna go unlock all the leave quests that I never did because it's annoying to see these marks everywhere. Thief Girl in Link Between Worlds is like their twist on the Link to the Past dungeon. We're in like the Thieves' Town with Blind the Thief and all that. So it's one of the Dark World dungeons. You sort of have to like free her and then escort her around, and she helps you with puzzles and stuff. And she's a bit rude. But she gets respect for you over the dungeon, as I recall. Ah, there you are, Sucro. You're a welcome sight among such unfamiliar scenery. The ferry skipper was eager to teach me all about this area on the ride here, so I believe I have a general idea of what's what. Wouldn't want to lose my bearings on a hunt this important. I asked him about our merchants, but he said he hadn't seen a pair like that. The skipper did mention another merchant, though, one who's well versed in the comings and goings of his fellow traders. If anyone sighted our unlikely duo, it's him. Let's hope it's enough to put us on the culprit's trail again. The merchant we seek should be peddling his wares by the gates to Skull Valley, so let's start there. Nod. They could have done a thing where they brought back the blind company of heroes Lalafell again for this quest line, since we're in the area. And then, like, they would have tried to poison him with the blindness apple, and he would have been like, cool apple, thanks. And they would have been befuddled by this. He matches the skipper's description. I think we found our merchant. I mean, obviously it does paralysis now too, but still. Can I help you? A Lalafell and a hero traveling together. Aye, I spied him. Though I'd never seen him before, they certainly made an impression. They sold some potions and elixirs to a pair of fresh-faced adventurers on the cheap, from what I could tell. If those merchants really are our culprits, then those potions are most likely tainted with toxins. Toxins, you say? That don't bode well. The adventurers who bought them, a marauder named Wissolm and a conjurer named Zerig, already left for their next job. Said they were escorting one of the local farmers over to Swiftperch. They're good lads, the two of them. They've been making life easier for the small folk here since they arrived. And I'd hate to see something happen to them. Someone needs to warn them about those potions right quick. Leave that to us. Swiftperch is southeast of here, yes? Let's find them before the poison takes hold. Nod. So, like, at first it seemed like this was people trying to, like, undermine Limsa. Like people have been trying to undermine various other places. Doesn't look like things are going too well for Wisselm and Zerig. But also, like, now they're just harassing random adventurers. They seem a little bit less coordinated. KA model, KR model. Man, what does this mean? They're shooting fire and pebble at me. Oh, Cardia must, like, go away whenever you teleport to a different area, and I never realized it. Stay on your guard, Sucro. We're being watched. I can't stop these blasted hiccups. Please give us a Wisselm. Now they're causing hiccups? I was too bloody close for comfort. Thanks for saving our arses, lass. Ugh, thank the gods you found us when you did. Those potion sellers must have swindled us. One draught of elixir was all it took to sing Zerig into the most furious fit of hiccups I've ever seen. Poor bastard couldn't cast a single spell. Ah, so this is a variant on silence. So it is still one of the status effects. Who are you calling a poor bastard? I'm not hiccuping. The Heartsting's toxins are at work here. We should be able to cleanse them with Isuna just like last time. I'm sorry, did you say... sod it. We'll have plenty of time to chat after Zerig stops hiccuping up a storm. I hate to ask more of you, but if you could cast Isuna on my partner, it'd be much appreciated. I like how this entire quest line is, remember that you have Isuna. So far. Did you know you can cure status effects instead of pressing glare over and over? Did you know that you can press glare instead of pressing cure 1 over and over? Etc. I can speak again. You have my thanks. Bloody hells. First we waste our hard-earned coin on poisoned potions, and now there are killer mammoths on the loose? What's the world coming to? Who goes there? Show yourself! Oh me, oh my! Our spear-wielding friend is sharp of eye! Oh, right. I don't know if we knew that you were also a rhyming type of person.
Clown.
I think that's fair to declare instantly. You're the frauds from Nailport. Why, yes, and watching your scrawny compatriot suffer was the highlight of our evening. I admit the poison was meant to silence him, but hiccups, 'twas comedy hits at its finest. Perhaps the elixir reacted with the venom. Regardless, we've had our fill of fun from the results, so I shan't complain. Okay, they don't always rhyme. Ah, the thunder is approaching closer. Venom? Then you must be the thieving cowards from the Passions of the Unbound. Oh, my sweet fairy apple, you know us? I suppose that means we're famous. I can't believe it. Oh, who am I kidding? Yes, I can. Indeed, I am the Passage of the Unbound's alchemist extraordinaire, the illustrious Elaret, and I'm so very, very pleased to make your acquaintance. Kokonoa at your service, Elaret's helping hand and master of mammoths. I have to check something. I have to, hold on, I have to... Okay, I think Kokonoa is deliberately invoking the Final Fantasy XI Puppet Master artifact gear with his design. Allow me to elaborate once I save this image as not a WebP. So, we don't currently have a close-up of him, but here is artifact armor for Puppet Master. And also, like, the accompanying puppet, which the mammoths already resembled. But I think they are attempting to invoke the vibe, at the very least, of Puppet Master. Especially because it's represented by a Tarutaru in this official render. I forgot they used Knuckles. Though in 11 you could use multiple weapons per job. So, yeah, I think Puppet Master mentioned. Dragoons are good at clubs. That's pretty funny. Your garb is ever so familiar to me, my dear. Ah, don't tell me you hail from that little village in Tyrol, don't you? My goodness, you've come a long way. How was the voyage? Enjoying the sights? Enough! You've got a lot of explaining to do, starting with the reason you took the Heartsting. Is this part of your organization's grand scheme? Well, well, the apple bites back. 'Tis true that my unbound compatriots harbor lofty ambitions, yes, but I have no interest in overthrowing nations. I merely crave the mires of chaos they've promised me. I aim to bring more laughter into this dreary world, one mischief and a few handy poisons at a time. Kokonoa and I are having oodles of fun expanding our repertoire of toxic treats. Yet there's no greater kill to our thrills than a healer who can whisk our hard work away. Unless, of course, I master a toxin even she can't cure. Oh, I do love a challenge. Now, I hate to leave you, my dears, but our work here is done, and we've a busy schedule ahead of us. Mammoths to mend, venomous misdeeds to master, ta-ta for now! No, wait, damn you! Ugh, that stench! Smells like a corpse just shat itself! Cartoon bombs, Isuna, and spine drops in the dialogue, Final Fantasy XI references. This quest has everything, including a terrible smell. So really the passage of the Unbound is entirely clowns, still. This odor is too much to bear. Take me home to the 12-Swood Wyslum. The air is clearer there. Oh no, don't you dare give out on me, Zarek. We've still got a job to do. We mustn't keep our client waiting any longer, but we're in your debt. Thank you again for everything, Miss, Loshkana, and this here is Sucro. Take care of each other out there. Much as I'd like to track down the Unbound, I know better than to tread further into their territory without a plan. For now, I think it best we return to Limsa Lominsa. Nod. We've had quite a selection of characters in the passage of the Unbound thus far. This does seem like the most chaos aligned and the least caring about the objectives of the group aligned. Of course, we didn't learn the motives of the Mammotheer, so it could be that he's really doing a big scheme and she doesn't even know. Okay, where are you in Limsa? This map is still atrocious. This way? We don't know how much of a clown the Puppet Master is, relatively speaking. Thank you for the support back there, Sucro. Isuna truly does work wonders. And that Elorette, I can't stop thinking about what she said. My blood boils knowing that this is all some sick game to her. How dare she toy with the heartsting for her own amusement? Honestly, even the youngest children in my village have more sense. Still, we did make progress. Now that the villains have revealed themselves, it'll be easier to give chase when they choose to make their next move. In any case, I'll keep you apprised of the latest news as soon as I hear it. We'll be back to the hunt before long. They're all foils for their respective roles. You know, now that you mention it, sorta. Like the last one was magic, and that guy was like using magic he didn't understand much to cause problems, etc. And yeah, Leofine trying to hurt people and only protecting herself. Oh, it's you, Sucro. You'll have to forgive the dour mood. I don't understand it. How is it that Elorette and Kokonoa can so grandiosely reveal their names and identities, yet I remain unable to track them down? Yeah, that's true too. With the mages usually being a secondary sort of thing. I didn't think about that. I've been following the latest hearsay, but I haven't had much luck. Not a soul's seen them since the incident with Wyslum and Zarig. But that's not to say I've given up entirely. Now that they know I'm on their trail, I suspect they're using my unfamiliarity with this island to their advantage. I dare say they're lying low outside the city. That's why I propose a trip to the Moraby dry docks. Folk here often speak of it, but I've yet to go there myself, so it seems as good a place as any. If you're game, I'll meet you there. Perhaps the Puppet Master is also a foil for the healer in the sense that, like, the healer supports their whole team, but a Puppet Master controls others. I mean, I'm just going off what Samantha's saying. We don't know that much about Kokonoha yet. Where in the hells could he have gone? Ah, there you are, Sucro. While I was waiting for you, this fellow came asking for help. Ah. Well, fair enough. Sorry to trouble you, but my little brother's gone missing, and I could use a hand finding him. We'll see the melee DPS one last, but I do have Viper at 100 now. I guess I could do that before ranged physical if I wanted to. He said he wanted to see the ships I made, so I started showing him around, but the next thing I knew he was gone. Lad's probably got himself lost. Oh, that poor dear. I know we still have the Heartsting to consider, but I'd like to search for this man's brother if that's alright with you. Nod. Much appreciated. I'm sure we'll find him all the faster with your help. You have me thanks. My brother wouldn't say boo to a goose. So I doubt he'd leave the docks on his own. That's a phrase I've never heard. He's got a mop of red hair like mine, so you'll know him when you see him. Wouldn't say boo to a goose. Is that a real phrase? It is. Used to emphasize that someone is very shy or reticent. Yeah, but like, where is it from? I wonder. Wouldn't say boo to a ghost. We'll keep an eye out. I know you're itching to search for him as well, but could I ask you to wait here in case he comes back? Another thing I'm noticing about these role quests is similar to... This seems fairly consistent for all of them so far. But like, similar to the Dawntrail main story, we're playing like a secondary role in all of these, and also like, aside from that, like all of the people that we're following around for the role quests seem like competent and heroic, generally. Compare to, for example, that one guy, that one cat boy from the Shadowbringers role quests who started out as kind of a jerk, but he got better. But like, compare to him, everyone here is starting out good so far. The Shadowbringers role quest characters were more flawed, I guess is another way to say it. And then like, Endwalker was all like characters we knew already, getting more depth. We'll keep an eye out. I know you're itching to search for him as well, but could I ask you to wait here in case he comes back? It makes sense for the Shadowbringers story and tone for sure. I'm just saying it's an interesting contrast. Let's split up so we can cover more ground. Good luck. But like, all of the people I've met and have been helping in the role quest so far seem like the protagonists of their own quests. Like, all of them being from remote villages also sort of helps with that sort of vibe, because there are so many RPGs where, like, your tiny village that the protagonist and, like, 3 other people live in is either the start of your journey or it's the start of your journey and it explodes. So, you know, they all have, like, RPG protagonist vibes. And they're all, like, learning about the land and, like, learning some lessons as they go, but they're, like, genuinely good people already. So they're, like, classic RPG protagonists, in a way. I'm scared. Where are you? Uh-huh. You're here to take me back to my brother? Leave it to me. You found the little one, Sucro. I'm so glad he's safe. Nod. I just wanted to see the ships my brother was working on. I thought I could see him better from higher up, but I lost my way. Sounds like you've had quite the adventure. But you were very brave today, so I'll tell you a secret. Even grown-ups get lost. I have an awful time learning my way around somewhere new, even with a map. Really? Nod. I guess I'm not the only one. A smile. We like to see those. Now your brother's very worried about you, so can you promise me you won't go wandering off on your own again? I promise. I should say sorry to my brother too. Let's take him back then. Nod. Okay, Loshkana, very good with kids. Hermers. I'm guessing you meant Hermes, but that's kind of a funny typo. And yeah, it does seem like we're doing a lot of, like, mentoring. I kind of feel like there's a good chance that the mentoring will be, like, a major theme of Dawntrail and, like, sort of diminish a little bit after it, because we are establishing some new... Dawntrail established some, like, new stakes and future adventures that are less mentoring and more like, even now, after we've saved the universe, there are unknowns that we have to investigate. Like, I feel like Dawntrail is, like, the mentoring expansion, and then the next thing is gonna be, like, the exploration of the unknown, parentheses, exciting, comma, positive expansion. It's gonna be like, it's gonna have like a bit of the Shadowbringers vibe, but more like uplifting and positive, maybe. That's the sort of, that's just a guess, really, based on what little we know. We are learning inter-shard travel. I'm also really excited. I'm also already like remembering how much I like playing as the tank. Both for, like, peace of mind, and also I just enjoy it. I'm like, there's gonna be a new tank next time, probably. I can't wait for 70 years to pass. Not actually 70 years. Yeah, it's... The relationship 11 has to 14 is unclear, but we have experienced a little bit of it. Brother! I was worrying myself sick over that little one. He could have fallen into the ocean for all we know. Also, an interesting contrast so far in this healer quest versus the other ones that we've done is that Loshkana does not appear to be in any way connected to the theft of the artifact. I won't say, like, responsible, because I feel like the other two being excited about someone showing interest in their village and thus giving away information doesn't really count as it being their fault or anything. Even though they both blamed themselves. But, like, Loshkana is not directly connected to the artifact, except that, like, it was stolen from her father. There's also a lot of like not all three, but there's been a lot of like, we are helping someone who is like has a important relationship to like the quest giver or their parent, or there's a lot of like consistent themes in these role quests. You're lifesavers, both of you. You deserve a proper reward, but I ain't got much to offer at the moment. Oh, we're in no need of coin, just some information if you have it. Have you seen a Huron woman and a Lalafellin man around the docks in recent days? One is an alchemist and the other a goldsmith. They'd likely have a few mammoths with them as well. If not, have you heard any rumors of food or drink that causes ailments when you consume them? Blindness or numbness, perhaps? Afraid I haven't seen or heard anything or anyone like that. Sorry I couldn't be of more help to you. That's alright. Knowing they haven't been around the docks is equally helpful. Well, that's good at least. I'll be praying to the navigator you both find who you're looking for. Any road, the two of us ought to be heading home. Thanks again for everything. Good fortune and safe travels to you both. Yeah, this was completely unrelated and just helping out. Still no word of the Unbound, but at least we could help those brothers. Children often let their curiosity guide them, which means they'll naturally wander off on their own adventures. I don't blame that man for worrying as much as he did. You seem to know a lot about caring for children, or something tells me you speak from personal experience. You speaking from experience? I do, in fact. I'm the oldest sibling in my family. I can't tell you how many times I've had to search for my brothers and sisters when they were growing up. Now that I think on it, I've barely even told you about my family, or my village, or anything, really. I'd be happy to share a few stories if you'd like. The ocean view here is beautiful, so we may as well enjoy the scenery and relax a bit. Nod. Dawntrail also emphasizing the theme of learning about different cultures and people. No matter how small. My people hail from the northern valleys of Jacques Toral. We're a close-knit community of hunters for the most part. You know, that theme is sort of also leading into like exploring other shards and learning about other cultures and people there as well. Now that I think about it. Children are given spears, well, practice ones, before they even learn to walk, and we hone our tracking skills from a very young age. Gasp. Is that surprising? It seemed second nature to me. Then again, I've encountered my fair share of surprises here as well. Our village rests in a veritable sea of poisonous plants and animals, so the slightest injury in a hunt can prove deadly. Thus, we believe it prudent to begin our training as early as possible. Yet, no matter how skilled we might become, accidents are inevitable, and the heartsting proves vital to our survival. I've also been noticing that all of the artifacts are visually similar to one another. They're all like totems, with like generally the same size, and like sort of the same shape, and like similar carving style and material. That's very interesting. Like, now that we've seen 3 of them, we can tell that they're establishing a pattern for sure here. And yeah, given that they're all Tiral Vidral, it might be a thing. Hey, it might even be connected to Beast Mastery. Or, like, some other future thing that happens. Yet, no matter how skilled we might become, accidents are inevitable, and the heartsting proves vital to our survival. Not only does it produce poison, it cleanses it as well. In the right hands, it can dispel some of the deadliest natural toxins known to mankind. It even purifies the beasts we hunt. In fact, our diet consists of highly venomous creatures, ones that would normally kill a grown adult if ingested. Oh, interesting. Also, yeah, the Walachi did have totems, didn't they? Like, totems were a thing for them and, like, in the blue magic stuff. And that's how you learn some of the blue magic spells, is you get totems for them, I think, right? Yeah. I think those have icons. I wonder if the icons for those are anywhere similar to these. Now I'm curious. The Heartsting allows us to lead a quiet, peaceful life in lands where others dare not tread. It always has. I suppose that's why I never imagined someone like Eloret would take that away from us. When I left, our village food stores were well stocked, but I can't bear the thought of my younger brothers and sisters going hungry. I must return the Heartsting as soon as I can for their sakes. I wish to bring back their smiles and make them feel safe again, just as we did for that young boy. In any case, thank you for listening. Thinking of home puts me in good spirits. As long as I remember who and what I'm here for, I'll be alright. I know it. But I've kept you long enough. I think it's time we made our way back to Limsa Lominsa, don't you? Nod. Ah, you have an icon of the totem here. Okay, not super visually similar. Not like really at all. But it could be a practice that like is related to the Walachi totems in some way. Like the Walachi taught others about it, or wait, yes, actually?
From the encyclopedia, though Martin did reference Walachi carvings in the creation of these totems, they are his own handiwork, their name lending perhaps undeserved air of authenticity. Infused with the ether of creatures from the New World, said totems enable trained Blue Mage practitioners to learn new spells without journeying across the Indigo Deep.
You know, it would be a really fun, like, detail. They look wrong because Martin made them. He probably tried to make them more marketable or something, knowing him. But a really fun detail would be is if when they updated Blue Mage stuff to include Dawntrail, which might be a while, but still, if you could learn all of the totem, all the Blue Mage totem things without the totems from actual monsters and enemies in Dawntrail, because, like, that's where the totems are from. That would be like an unnecessary detail gameplay-wise, but it'd be a really cool detail, like lore and continuity-wise and stuff. It'd also be neat to just see Dawntrail monsters use them, and if they haven't, then... Oh, Angel Snack is actually referenced. Hold on. I did a random side quest in Solution 9. And Angel Snacks are actually a brand of food item in Solution 9, as was mentioned here somewhere. Oh, and also they named the Gimme Cat vending machine. It's actually a Gimme Bat in this continuity, and it's Gimme Bat Cola. Ah, yeah, you still mention it. Can I interest you in a packet of Angel Snacks? So yeah, we can thus assume that the Angel Snack package is one of these random science fiction containers here somewhere. And like some of these containers are recognizable from that one other quest. So I think from that we can deduce that, assuming that packages are not reused, Angel snacks are most likely this. Maybe? Like, we know what this is. We know it, we've seen this and these. It could be these, but that would be a humorously large package of snacks. Yeah. It could be this, but also that's probably just a flavor variant of that. It could be this, but that looks more like a spice container or something to me. I doubt it's one of the drinks. Could be these? Maybe this is something? But that also seems like it could be a drink. It's probably not something I'm supposed to think about, but I like to think about things I'm not supposed to. Because that's fun. One of these days I'll get pranked into doing the third near raid that's on my quest list, and you still see it constantly whenever I open my log. Right. Lashkana, why are you standing in an inconvenient part of Limsa Lominsa? Okay, it's not that bad. Limsa Lominsa used to be worse to navigate in 1.0. I wonder if there's... I feel like... I think I've... I think I've seen someone like running around Final Fantasy XIV 1.0 like in a private server sort of situation. It might be interesting to like go there and just look at stuff sometime.
The magic that would need to be found on a Turali creature to let you get the blue magic from a creature instead of a totem include Off Guard, Mighty Guard, Transfusion, Revenge Blast, Matter Magic, Dragon Force, Moon Flute, Doom, Angel Whisper, Angel Snack, Breath of Magic.
Okay, there is a way to set up a private server for 1.0. It looks like it takes a lot of effort, and I don't think you can actually do anything there except for like run around and look at stuff. But that could be interesting to do at some point. Just to like see how much worse it was to navigate areas, because it was worse. That was a much needed reprieve, but we'll need to plan for our next destination, and soon. Well now, fancy meeting you here. It's good to see you two again. What brings you to Limsa Lominsa? I missed most of the boat on 1.0. I didn't experience much of it. Like, I didn't get far enough to have the legacy mark. And also that character doesn't exist in any context anymore, I don't think. It could have been interesting to have experienced more of it, but my understanding is that it wasn't very good in most ways. Nothing of import, really. Just a bit of restocking before our next job, but we happened to spot you along the way. Didn't want to miss the opportunity to greet our heroes. Our client arrived to swift perch in one piece thanks to your timely assistance. Indeed, while I regret that you had to see us in such a pitiable state, we're both grateful for your aid. Nod. Smile. When last we met, you spoke of pursuing those two charlatans, did you not? Yes, that's right. They've stolen a precious heirloom from my village, so I'm doing everything in my power to return it to its rightful place. So that's the way of it. Bombastic as those two were, we've not seen hide nor hair of them in Aleport since. No word of any incidents like ours either. But I have a feeling they won't stay in the shadows for long. We sniff out any suspicious incidents while we're out and about, we'll keep you informed. I won't say no to some extra pairs of eyes around the island. I've made my base of operations here in the city, so if you ever hear a peep about a poisoning, you know where to find us. By the way, I really like this idea of like a village that lives in a place that's full of poison and like full of poison creatures and eats the poison creatures because they have the way to like purify that poison. Like this whole poison oriented like location that isn't like poison evil either. Like it's just a very interesting idea, I think. Well, we may not have found any leads on Elaret, but I'm glad we had a chance to chat. And with Lyslam and Zareg on our side, things are looking up. For now, I'll keep in touch with our newfound allies. Should I hear any news on our culprits, I'll be sure to let you know. If they added Puppet Master to this game, I wonder what role it would be. God, what if the next tank is Puppet Master somehow? I think Puppet Master in 11 was like notably weird in that it could do anything. Hold on, I want to look up information on... This is a stream of derails a lot. I want to look up informations on Puppet Master. Puppet Master is expensive and very complicated, apparently. Also, it abbreviates to pup, which is pretty good. Forgot about that one. Endgame Puppet Master can solo certain content due to their shenanigans. Someone has an elaborate Puppet Master guide that they've created. I just want to like get a general overview. Okay, yeah, you can set the automaton up for tanking, for casting, for overdrive, whatever that means, utility. So yeah, Puppet Master can basically make their funny robot do whatever. I just wanted to check that. Imagine if they were a tank instead of a limited job or something. Taste of a toxin paradise. Sucro, am I glad to see you? I've just received word from Lyslam and Zareg. Our culprits have finally been spotted. It seems the thieves headed for Upper Lenosha. I offered to make my way there as soon as I could, but Lyslam and Zareg said I should hang back for now. Once they've gathered enough information, they'll be heading back to Aleport. Let's go and see what news they have to share. I feel like they wouldn't be likely to try and make another like pet class with a detached pet after what they've changed for Summoner and like how Scholar is the only thing that is actually that anymore. And Scholar feels like it's super on the list for getting drastically changed in the future. Just because it feels the jankiest. But it'd be fun if they made like the puppet follow you around while still technically being in your space. Sort of like a minion would, but like it just teleports to wherever you need or something like that. Or it rides on your shoulder and it like you use it as a weapon from there or something cool. For Lalafels, it's on their head, like the minions. They could also be using Beastmaster for that purpose. You're not wrong. That's a good point. Now I'm just speculating, like, or speculating to myself internally about how they could possibly make a pet tank. And like, I feel like maybe the way it would work is you'd be able to like direct the positioning of the puppet by like sending it to specific people instead of having to like place it or it follows you. Like it defaults to being on your shoulder, for example, but you can send it over to another player to defend them either temporarily or for a while. But that seems more like a healer thing, actually. It's more like Cardia. Just thinking about stuff. They could do that with Scholar, though. They could have, like, the fairy be like Cardia, but then it would be too similar to Sage. Could it be kind of like Dancer? But also, like, tanks rarely need to protect one specific individual. They're mostly protecting themselves and drawing aggro. So... Got a puppet... What if the Puppet Master tank was a tank and the puppet was independent, but instead of, like, mitigations for themselves, they had to mitigate for the puppet and like manage the puppet's health and stuff like that, and then they were like more functionally like a very limited, like a very specific scope, like healer, weird DPS, but also still technically a tank. Also, as far as like barrier tank goes, I was thinking like, what would the next tank even be? And I don't think we have a tank that could be described as a barrier tank, really. Like, there are barriers here and there, but like, Warrior is the healing tank. So they could probably make some sort of barrier-based tank that really leans into it. The puppet takes the aggro, but all damage the puppet takes goes to you? Maybe. Maybe like the puppet's position would be dictated by a certain button, like that recalled it to your current location instead of you directing it and like mitigated something. Like maybe that puppet button could be like the Puppet Master's equivalent of like for example, Paladin has God, what's it called? Dang it, hold on. Like Paladin's Holy Sheltron, or Sheltron. It'd be like the... I saw one place call it like active mitigation. It's the very frequently available mitigation button. Maybe that could like place the puppet where you're at and like make a small AoE of like mitigation around it when it arrives. So like, you could also have that be a part of the Puppet Master's gimmick where they have more AoE mitigation, but it's targeted or something like that. But then that might not work if you're trying to like position the boss in specific ways without like moving it too much. In which case that clearly they also have a button that's a decoy where it like directs it. You place a decoy and it takes aggro for you, and that's how you position the boss and it's facing while still being able to move around. So it'd also be a more mobile tank in a weird way. That, okay, I'm convincing myself that this sounds rad actually. So like to make up for the fact that you have to do AoEs around or like your location, you have a specific make the enemy face here button as well. That would be fascinating. This is a stream of derails so far. No sign of Weislam and Zarek yet. I don't mean to assume the worst, but I admit I'm a bit worried. I knew I should have insisted on going. I don't want them injured on my behalf. I say we head out and find them. Nod. Miss Loshkana, terribly sorry for the delay. Yeah, maybe something like that. They could manage, like, multiple puppets in that way. Weislam, Zarek, thank goodness. How did you fare out there? You found Elaret and Kokonoa, yes? Oh, we found them all right, but it didn't take long for them to find us. We were set upon by Kokonoa's mammoths. His mechanical menagerie greatly outnumbered us and may very well have been our end. Death by mammoths isn't an ideal way to go, mind you, so a retreat was our only option. Cowardly though it might sound, we needed to ensure we could keep you aware of the culprit's whereabouts. Before they spotted us, they were stuffing a little metal army into a skiff bound for Camp Bronze Lake. And mark my words, they're plotting something new. They're gonna poison the lake or something at this point. They're like, hey, wait, why are we poisoning food when we could poison the water source? I'm a genius. Of course, it's entirely possible they seek a quiet route to eastern Lenosha and wish to bypass Bronze Lake instead, but a thorough search of the camp would be wise. Alas, the enemy you face is far beyond our capabilities, so this is as far as Weislam and I will be able to go. I'm sorry we couldn't provide more decisive information. Or that too, yeah. Honestly, I should be the one apologizing. You've risked life and limb for me already. I never meant to push you past your limits. You needn't dwell on it. We're as eager to bring those criminals to justice as you. Indeed. We shall at least take pride in knowing we could point you in the right direction. But we should take our leave for now. Weislam and I ran most of the way here, and I think I speak for us both when I say we could use a comfortable chair and a hearty meal. None can gainsay your strength, my friends, but I beg you not to underestimate that of our foe. Go well, and may your determination guide you to victory. Camp Bronze Lake. The ferry skipper spoke of the place my first time here. We should hurry and seek passage before Elaret and Kokonoa elude us again. Nod. Okay, I was confused by who that person in the cutscene was. It's just the hunter scholar for the area. That must be like a Maelstrom sword. You know, I was thinking, like... I was wondering, like, what's the most Kingdom Hearts looking paladin weapon? And the only one I thought of was like the Gold Saucer Sabatender one, but this is pretty Kingdom Hearts looking to me, to be honest. Also, speaking of Kingdom Hearts, I've never played Kingdom Hearts 2, but I did notice a bunch of people point out that Living Memory has very similar vibes to Twilight Town. And like, the Twilight Town song is definitely very similar in vibes. And also like what I understand about Twilight Town, which is not the full context of it, does seem to be fairly similar to to Living Memory. So that's interesting. Perhaps they were inspired by it or something. Nod. What a lovely camp. Now, if I were a half-crazed alchemist with the heart sting and a new scheme up my sleeve, where would I hide? Are they just gonna be like chilling in the hot springs? No, they poison the hot springs. Is it just me or are there pigs flying in the sky? It hurts to laugh. Okay, they did actually poison the hospital's water supply. Like, that's literally what's happening. Oh dear, that doesn't bode well. To the upper levels, Sucro, quickly! This is not a status effect I'm familiar with. Oh, they're also just right here. Well, they're doing pranks, so yes. Poisoning the springs? You truly are the lowest of the low. Confusion is possible, yeah. Haha, you flatter me. 'Twas just a little poison, really, as a treat. Did you just do a little as a treat? I mean, you didn't say little as a treat, so at least there's that. But you just did the as a treat thing. And also you're causing problems on purpose. I think you get another one of these.
Clown!
For that. I'm afraid I couldn't contaminate all the water here, but we're having oh so much fun with our shiny new hallucinatory toxin. Step away from the spring, Sucro, now! Ah, protecting the healer, are we? How sickeningly sweet of you. But you ought to watch your step as well, my dear fairy apple, lest you find yourself seeing stars or, huh? Ellerette, is aught amiss? Did you also just... You also just hallucinated yourself. Kokonoa, you look absolutely hideous. Should I say adorable? Why, you're as funny as a porcelain doll. Huh? The hell's are you on about? Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. I believe I may have poisoned myself. Now there's a predicament. And guess what? Do you recall those antidotes I prepared at the base? Because I forgot to bring them. You really are your own worst enemy. Do you know that? I suggest we retreat before you decide to dive headfirst into the springs for fun. Unbound scum! You think we'll allow you to walk free after all the chaos you've caused? Well, yes, actually. Have you seen Ellerette? She's in no state to contend with you, and I've never been one for rough and tumble. Of course, you're welcome to give chase, provided you have no qualms about leaving these poor souls to laugh themselves senseless. Retreat though we must, I would call today a rousing success. But worry not, my dearest bushel of busybodies. We have plenty of tricks in store for you and the entire island. Oh no, cartoon bombs again. They've got more of those. They could simply put poison in the cartoon bomb. I don't sense any toxins in the waters anymore, so the springs should be safe again. What'll happen to the toxins from here? Will they affect the local wildlife? Both good questions. Will they affect anything else? Thanks. There have been times I can like laugh on demand, and I've done this partially to do things like test voice filters and see what laughing sounds like in them. So, you know, I know how I laugh and I can do it at will. Maybe it's a weird thing to do. I have never really considered it. Seeing as Ellerette suffered from a taste of her own medicine, I doubt she's mastered much of the Heartsting's power. As such, any poison she produces from it would be relatively weak. Well, I didn't really mean weird, I meant like uncommon, I guess. Most of her handiwork has already evaporated with the steam. One might compare it to the way those awful unbound smoke bombs dissipate, and thank goodness they do. In more capable hands, however, the Heartsting's poison remains active unless dispelled with Isuna or another form of antidote. The same permanence applies to its cleansing abilities for our food. Now, there's much on my mind, but I think we've bigger problems to address first. Let's make our rounds of the camp, and then think about our next steps. I'm going to have a look around the springs to ensure the toxins are gone for good. Can I ask you to treat any victims you come across? Nod. God, Sucro's outfit is so, like, bright neon colors. It's great. I wish I could use this outfit on a tank. Like, I've always thought they should get rid of the glamour restrictions, but now I, like, have a recent example of something I would like to be able to use. Oops, I assumed it myself. Apparently, yeah. Perhaps sensing the ether of the artifact or something? Much appreciated, madam. I wasn't anywhere near the water when it was poisoned, but the toxic steam must have drifted this way. When I heard the rumblings about mysterious mammoths roaming about the camp recently, I was more than a little apprehensive, but I never expected those mammoths' masters would do something so cruel. Your efforts are helping us put this turmoil behind us, and for that, you have my thanks. I can't simply let you administer this aid alone. I should tend to the remaining victims as well. Nod. She probably has, like, affinity with the artifact in some capacity, so it makes sense that she can detect its poison, perhaps. Oh, thank the gods. I wasn't expecting to nearly laugh myself to death at a placement for healing, but at least I can breathe easy again. I hear you're chasing after the ones who did this. You're either very brave or very reckless, but I'm inclined to assume the former. Any road, all that laughing has exhausted me, so I may as well take a break from my soak. Thank you again for your kindness, and may the navigator keep you. Nod. That feeling when you're so exhausted that you have to take a break from your break. And also the break is supposed to be, like, healing you in the first place. Okay, to be fair to this befuddled bather, what comical costumes you wear, what humorous dances you dance. It says she's hallucinating, but that could be very well true if she had witnessed a number of player characters recently. My costume compatriots, they're gone! Farewell, my visions. May you revel on in my memory. Okay, she was just seeing dancing costume people. You say laughter's the best medicine, though I feel far worse than before. Many thanks for putting an end to it. Nod. I think I've earned myself another soak and an extra flagon of mulled wine. Pleasant travels to you, healer. There have been times when I haven't been able to stop laughing, so, like, I kind of know what that's like. But also, it's been a long time since that's happened, I think. It can be difficult to breathe sometimes, but I've never seen dancing costumed player characters. I've never hallucinated that sort of thing. I don't know if I've hallucinated at all, but anyway. How goes the healing, Sucro? I did it. I healed him. Wonderful. I'm glad Isuna proved effective. For my part, I've given the springs a thorough look. The toxins have dissipated completely, so the bathers should be safe from here on out. As for Elaret and Kokonoa's antics, I've had a moment to reflect on everything. Now that our work is done, do you have a moment to chat? Nod. I'm well versed in the numbing and blinding poisons we use on our hunts at home, but something kept troubling me about Elaret's toxin. Never seen anything like it. I had no idea it even existed among the Scorpion's gifts. Elorette may be inexperienced, but the fact she's learned to inflict hallucinations is cause for concern. Still, we should try to look on the bright side. She's yet to discover the Heartsting's cleansing properties, judging by the way she couldn't cure her own ailments. Knowing her as we do, I reckon she only has toxic trickery on her mind. Kokonoa, however, handled himself surprisingly well despite his exposure. Do you recall the man in Limsa Lominsa who ate the poisoned apple? He claimed that Kokonoa took a bite, yet never suffered its ill effects. He must have some manner of immunity, but how? Reminds me on the attempt on the Sultana's life, or traditional Dunesfolk families often drink poison teas to build tolerance. Is that an actual fact? I feel like that is. And I think Sucro would know this, because she's a knower of things. There's a Dunesfolk tradition where they drink poison teas to build tolerance. How intriguing! So instead of using an heirloom like the Heartsting, the Dunesfolk train their bodies to endure fatal toxins. I'd be interested to try that tea as long as I had an antidote in hand. I didn't realize Kokonoa might have had that sort of upbringing, but it would certainly explain why Elorette's tricks don't seem to affect him. Few in my village would ever think to consume potentially lethal food or drink without drawing on the Heartsting's power, yet the Dunesfolk do it gladly. The more I consider our differing approaches to poison, the more fascinating it becomes. I wonder if that dialogue choice is slightly different if you're a Lalafell and or Dunesfolk. I'm guessing probably not, because it would still make sense in context. Like, it's possible that some dialogue in here might be slightly different. I don't know if the dialogue has the capacity to reference, like, like, the specific clan that you chose. Like, Keeper of the Moon or Seeker of the Sun. But it might. You think it can? That makes sense, because you did do a quest that was about the Vina Viera. Okay, Uvlo knew you were Vina specifically in the Gathering quest. Okay. I wasn't sure if Uvlo just said Vina specifically, or if Uvlo just said like you were a Viera, is all. The more I consider our differing approaches to poison, the more fascinating it becomes. But I have a feeling the bathers won't want to overhear talk of poisons after what they've just been through. Why don't we continue our discussion in Limsa Lominsa? Okay. Yeah, that does seem to suggest that they know which type of, like, that particular variable. I mean, that makes sense too, because that variable used to actually determine a few things mechanically, and also, like, determines character creation choices, so it's probably in the system somewhere. Every time I run into someone using performance mode, like 9 times out of 10 I can't identify what they're playing, but I always like to stop and try. It's kind of funny to see someone's white mage minion scurrying along behind them. I know I've been anxious to ascertain our thieves' whereabouts, but things escalated far quicker than I thought. Your presence throughout the whole ordeal was a welcome one, Sucro. What was not so welcome were Elorette's parting words. Whatever she has planned for the whole island, it can't possibly be good. Her acts of mischief have only grown worse since I arrived in this city. Someone used Sprint behind the wall. We must take the Heartsting back before she causes any lasting harm. Of course, it was Weiselm and Zareg's efforts that led us to Elorette. so I'll have to thank them when I get the chance. In the meantime, I'll do what I can to track down our unruly thieves and report to you as soon as I'm able. Downed by the river. That's a pretty clever quest name, I think. Sucro, I'm glad you're here. I'm on the cusp of a breakthrough in our search. Or I'd like to think so. This won't come as a surprise, but Elaret and Kokonoa went back into hiding after the Bronze Lake incident. With all their grandstanding, I wasn't expecting them to lay low for so long, but I doubt they'll keep it that way. Fortunately, we have prior experience to guide us. Until now, our culprits have traveled all over Vilbrand, and they don't appear to be retracing their steps. I hear Costa del Sol attracts many visitors, so that seems a likely target. They say it's owned by an entrepreneur named Gegeruju. Perhaps we can ask if he spied anything out of the ordinary. No! Not him! I mean, he is the boss of Costa del Sol, basically, and it is relevant to the questline, but... Sadly... Oh, yeah, that's right, he does have the Hotel Mario voice. Maybe it's fine, actually. Check out this enclosed instruction book. There, I still got it a little bit. I feel like there's probably a decent chance that Loshkana will stab him. What picturesque scenery. I hadn't expected Costa del Sol to be so grand. From what I gather, Gegeruju should be just up ahead. I don't suppose you're already acquainted with him. I know him well enough, or for better or worse, yes. Thank God for this dialogue choice. Yeah, I know him. That's not very encouraging, but as long as you're on good enough terms, I'm sure we'll be fine. In any case, let's be on our way. I wonder if Gegeruju will recognize that I threatened him in the Dancer questline. Yeah, this is Gegeruju.mp3, alright. Well, well, it isn't our favorite intrepid adventurer. What business brings you to my abode? Why, yes, I did spy that lovely specimen of a hewer. Alas, I was so entranced by her feminine wiles that I cannot recall any such entourage of Lalafellan men or mammoths. Would that I never drank that wine she so gracefully gifted me. A single sip and I saw oh so many stars. I thought them wonderful in those first blissful moments. I don't know if this is exactly the Hotel Mario voice, but it's good enough. I partook of the drink amongst my retinue of kittens, yet as the rush of stars subsided, I found myself surrounded by a flock of unfamiliar faces instead. Gegeruju got honeybee-inned, apparently. At first, I presumed the wine caught up to me faster than I'd anticipated, but time passed and the unknown faces stubbornly remained. I dashed across the shore in terror. In the midst of the mayhem, I could hear her, the wine-wielding beauty, maniacally laughing in the distance with some other chap. I feared those cackles would be the last thing I ever heard. Which is precisely why I found it appropriate to slap the sense back into him, said somebody. Oh, at least you're here. Judging by the way Master Gegeruju was darting around at the time, I suspected he'd been in his cups. Drank the whole bloody bottle, too, so if you wish to investigate the wine itself, I'm afraid that won't be possible. Can you blame me? Questionability of her wine aside, that woman was immaculate, a sight for sore eyes. Any gentleman of taste would have fallen for her tricks. Though we may lack the drink in question, we received reports of mammoths roaming Raincatcher Gully not long after the incident. If you intend to investigate this further, you'd certainly be doing us a favor. Alrighty then. Any news of wayward mammoths is promising for us. We'll give the gully a look and relate to you whatever we find. Godspeed out there. Then our next destination is clear, but before we depart, Sucro, might I have a word? Nod. I like how, like, Sucro just turned and left immediately after Gegaruju waved goodbye. I choose to interpret this as, like, Gegaruju getting killed, perhaps. Wait, no, I have to switch to Paladin for this. Hold on. There we go. The classic. Circle of Scorn is the funniest OGCD. Based on Gegaruju's account, it's safe to say Elaret's discovered a new poison. While similar to the hallucinatory toxin she used at Bronze Lake, it strikes terror into the hearts of its victims instead. I have a bad feeling about this. She's gaining proficiency with the heart sting at an alarming rate, so we must tread carefully when next we cross paths with her. As for the mammoths, Kokonoha doesn't seem the type to send them wandering around aimlessly. That's why I think they're bound to have some clues on them. If we can track those mammoths down in Raincatcher Gully, we may be able to discern what those two are planning next. Apparently not. It'd be really funny, in a way, if the final battle of this questline involved using the fear toxin on me to do like a complete and total mood whiplash at the last second. Just like 180 into super depressing or terrifying boss fight. Like, surprise idiot, fight Haurchefant. Ghost of Haurchefant who says he hates you. It'd be funny in a weird way to me. Or Sucro fears nothing and is immune to the poison. Like, maybe they set it up to be a big mood whiplash moment, and then it just doesn't work because Sucro's too cool or whatever. Or I just can Asuna it immediately. Wait, when mammoths die, they collapse into their helmets? I didn't notice that. Yeah. Sucro completely unfazed by fear. I think we've cleared out the mammoths. How fared your hunt? I imagine what we'll actually have to do is use Isuna on Loshkana a lot in the fight. I found notes. Thursday again? No problem. Actually, there's something funny about the idea of Sucro associating anything like that with Thursday, considering my usual stream schedule. Though, Sucro time is not the same as my time, of course. So they've been keeping a record of the island's rivers. Oddly enough, the mammoths I came across were patrolling the river as well. Now that they've tested their poisons on Bronze Lake Springs, do they mean to take the rivers next? Take to the rivers next? They sure freaking do. Sucro, watch out! My! That dart was laced with a potent numbing toxin, but nothing bruises our favorite fairy apple, it seems. You never cease to amaze and annoy me in equal measure. She's gonna get so many repertoire stacks off of that. Well, the mammoth will, anyway. She's like to have the same manner of immunity as I. Her village was positively brimming with poisonous flora and fauna, after all. I have a request for you, my dears. Would you please give up on your little trinket? Pretty please? I wish only to revel in the fruits of my devilry, yet you continue to spoil my every attempt. And trust me, I despise our conflict as much as you do. Indeed, do you think we enjoy watching our finest mammoths suffer at your hands? Enough! If you truly wanted to end this, you'd hand over the heartsting. The scorpion's gifts weren't meant for a petulant, childish criminal like you. Fine then, no more Miss Nice Ellerette, but answer me this. Who have my antics killed, Who? No one, I remind you. So why must you refuse me? Why must the world refuse me? Time for my backstory, idiot. Our blighted society has never looked fondly upon my love of mischief. For years I despaired until my unbound family and its leader granted me the greatest gifts of all, love and understanding. So long as I remain unbound, I care not what the wretched masses think. I shall play my tricks as my heart desires, and all who stand in defiance will know my wrath. That includes you, my dears. My next scheme will finally plunge this island into the chaos I so desperately crave, and I will stop at nothing to see it realized. Ellerette seems like the sort of person who would use this feral soul of a beast to turn into a bee lady. IMO. And what's your deal, though? I think she has the same face as, like, the same face option as Honeybee Lovely. So clearly they're reflections of each other. I solved it. Everyone is a reflection in a room full of mirrors. That's one of those statements that sounds wise, but isn't, I think. Sorry to worry you, Sucro. I'm feeling much better now. I'm ashamed I didn't sense that mammoth's presence quickly enough, but I'm glad you came out of the ambush unscathed. That aside, I wish they didn't use such putrid smoke to make their exits. I don't know if my nose or my stomach can take any more of those awful bombs. With Ellerette and Kokonoa gone, I doubt we'll be able to find much else here. Let's return to Costa del Sol and inform them of the latest. Actually, you know, I don't think that mammoth would get any repertoire stacks, because they probably forgot to use the song. I don't know if they programmed singing mammoths or not. They should. Also, I still have the opinion that I stated at one point in streams that playable mammoths would be funny and good. I like mammoths in this game. I think they are great. And I think I should be able to play as a funny little robot if I want to. But also, I'll never play as anyone else other than Sucro at this point. Unless I make an alt for a bit or something. Shall we report to Gege Ruju? Do we have to? Back already? How fortuitous, or ominous, or both even. I take it you found those wayward mammoths? Surveying Vilbrun's waterways, are they? After the recent poisoning at Camp Bronze Lake, we have reason to believe the culprits are planning to make Vilbrun's rivers their next target. So the culprits are the one and the same, then. I had my suspicions since I caught wind of the incident at Warmwine Springs. Regardless, this bodes ill. We may not know which of these rivers they'll strike until it's too late. Well, I shall not stand for any more preposterous poisonings. It would be prudent to inform the Maelstrom of these potential horrors. The one who poisoned you. Her name is Elorette. She stole something precious from my village, and I must recover it no matter the cost. If you learn anything of her whereabouts or her plans in the coming days, anything at all, I'd like to hear of it as well. Hell's bent on finding her, eh? A brave one you are. Oh, I couldn't possibly deprive a lovely lady of the information she requires. Worry not, for my servants shall sally forth in your general direction the moment they hear of Elorette's newest misdeeds. Oh, thank you. That'd be much appreciated. It's going to be an uphill battle, but we can't afford to let Elorette and Kokonoa elude us any further. Come, Sucro, it's back to Limsa Lominsa with us. Nod. I was considering saying after this cutscene that at least Gegarushu got through the entire thing without saying anything flirty or flirty adjacent to Loshkana. But then he didn't. So we have to go change the sign since... We have to go change the days since Gegarushu has made a comment sign back to 0. It was already at 0. I didn't mean to level sync. Actually, we at some point they'd already changed the days part of that sign to like minutes or even seconds. We just have to set that back to 0. I assume management of said sign is one of the full-time duties of Westgate. Or Westgate, however you say that name. Right. Is that a death pose? Is that a play dead pose, or is there a weird lying down emote that's possible somehow that I don't know about? If that's a play dead pose, why does the male Ella's in death pose just look like they're having a nap? Every time he resets it to 0, it's the fell cleave animation. Yeah, probably. Thank you as always for your support, Sucro. Gegarushu was interesting, to say the least, but I'm glad we obtained the information we needed. I don't know why I allowed Elorette to say her piece. I should have swallowed my pain and taken up my spear. I could have apprehended her right then and there, and yet... I mean, I guess you could have, like, thrown it. That might have been difficult. I don't know if that was possible. I don't blame you for that, though. There's no more room for mistakes. The longer Elorette lurks in the shadows, the greater the threat becomes. Countless lives are at risk. The next time we find her, we end her tricks once and for all. For now, I'll remain here and await news from Costa del Sol. An antidote for anarchy. But anarchy can be good, actually. Not in this context, but, like, sometimes. A little bit of anarchy, at least. Hello there, Sucro. I've been on the lookout for anyone from Costa del Sol, but nothing yet. Perhaps we should travel over there ourselves, just in case. Mr. Sucro, Mistress Loshkana! Forgive me the sudden entrance, but I bring a message from Master Gegarushu. Your quarry has been sighted in eastern Lenosha. Oh, well, I'm glad I didn't leave early. Thank you for bringing word. Where in eastern Lenosha were they last seen? Master Weisgate but recently received a report from Mr. Sprayflox, a trusted associate of his. We're told a number of inbreakers with fighty tools and tinkerdolls infiltrated her longstop. Brayflox mentioned! Woo! We have little doubt that the inbreakers and tinkerdolls she speaks of are Elorette and her troop. I see. Then we best find this Brayflox, and soon. Indeed. You're like to find her by the entrance to her long stop in Raincatcher Gully. My master and his associates wish you good hunting. If they poison Gobby cheese, they're gonna like... They're gonna like, I don't know. They're gonna cause war against them specifically. We should get a first-hand account from Brayflox as well. Perhaps she'll have more to tell. Let's be off, Sucro. And yeah, we might very well fight in Brayflox's long stop dungeon. Which I believe is also the dungeon where they really should start requiring you to equip your dropstone, but they don't yet. I wonder if they'll ever actually implement such a technology. But I think that's the first post-30 dungeon. That is also probably true. In fact, I think poisoning the Gobby cheese would, like, make them think of it as, like, a rare delicacy variant of the cheese. And this would be perhaps doubly true for moblins. Because one of the moblin traits that we've learned, or that I've learned through, like, side quests and stuff, like, goblins tend to make, like, I forget what they called them, like, pouches of good smells for their masks. And moblins do similar, except they like pack masks with like rotten smells and other such stenches that most would find unpleasant. That's a fun moblin fact. They love rotting stuff. Rot food and strong smells. I think that's moblins and not just goblin, or not goblins as well though. I think that's just the moblins. I think the goblins do something different. Uplander Gobby friend returns to Longstop. It's true, I do that. So this is Brayflox. I told her she reminded me of a moblin, but I got a bit of a scolding for that. Not mobbies, she said gobbies, see? This is why you gotta be careful with your typos, Aya. You'll make Brayflox mad. Yes, gobbies! And gobbies require handling to backstrike at inbreakers. Inbreakers bring big flock of tinkerdolls to search for water gush. Okay, now I'm uncertain, like, when we first encountered moblins, you said they used mobby speak more than goblins used gobby speak. But Brayflox is making me wonder if that's actually true. With this one text box here. Maybe it's roughly similar. In, like, frequency. Water gush. Does Elleret mean to poison the island's water source? This must be why they were researching the rivers. If the toxins are strong enough, anyone or anything that draws near the water would grow terribly ill. All of Vilbrand would fall into disarray. They don't call her all tox for nothing. Good point. Poison makes no good for Gobbyflock, no good for Vilbrand. Narrowheart's in need of many punishings. Narrowheart is a really good Gobby word. That's new, I think. Calling someone villainous narrow-hearted. I like that. That's neat. This goes far beyond trickery. We must end Elleret's ambitions here and now. I doubt she'll come quietly, and she has the Heartsting at her disposal. But with your aid, Sucro, I know we can take it back. As soon as you're ready, we'll storm the Longstop. Chase Narrowheart inbreakers and back take Longstop. Well, this is it. Ready to storm the Longstop, Sucro? Is this going to be like a more involved thing instead of just one fight? You're actually wearing a different outfit now. I wonder why. Just casually waving at us. Hey, this is the second boss fight arena of Brayflox's Longstop dungeon. There they are. Oh, I knew bringing those bits and bobs for battle was a good idea. If you're after some manner of surrender with heartfelt embraces and handing over of magic heirlooms, you've come to the wrong Longstop, my dear. You monster! You plan to poison every waterway in Vilbrand, don't you? But of course! The trick is to let the poison stew for a few bells. With a healthy helping of those tantalizing toxins and a dollop of advanced alchemical processes, poof! This eyesore of an island will get a taste of my finest work yet. Yeah, combat shawl. This is like the Darber coat of casting. Also, you got a book. You're gonna Arcanist at me. My latest masterpiece neither dissipates nor evaporates, and no amount of inherent immunity can save you from its influence. It may be safe to the touch, but one tiny sip will have you begging for mercy. That's no jest, by the way. I won't begin to describe what manner of havoc the experimental doses wreaked, but I will look forward to seeing how it affects the general populace. Oh yes, the residents of Limsalominsa and its adorable little hamlets rely on this water. So very many people blissfully unaware of what's to come. And every single one of those wretches will be at the mercy of our malice. Every single one!
Clown.
You know what? They get two.
Clown.
Because there's two of them. If she unleashes those toxins into the waterways, this is going to end up far worse than Bronze Lake. Playtime's over, Elleret. The only wretches I see here are you two, or ... You're the only wretches around here. Shrug. Your precious scorpion once hunted prey with these poisons, yes? Perhaps you should learn from his example and revel in the thrill of the chase. I think maybe Elleret is just mad that they changed Summoner. I think maybe that's her backstory. Is she gonna, like, use Fester and spread bio? Is she an Arcanist? Yeah, exactly! We were having the same sort of train of thought. I suspect that's my cue to back away. I'd rather watch the chaos unfold from a safe distance. These venomous gifts keep on giving. My very ether is infused with their essence. So now, my dears... Unbound, Elleret Venomheart. He doesn't even... She gets an epithet and not like a title. I think an epithet is the right word. It's time I hunt you for a change. Maybe she's mad because of how low-res her geometry textbook is. She's absolutely gonna do like Shadow Flare and Miasma and stuff though, I bet. Oh, comedy time again. I'll lead the charge, Sucro. You focus on healing. The Leal. Okay, so I need to... Whoop, not that. This one. This one? This... I need to have it so I can easily change targeting. My dear sweet fairy apple, I'm afraid you've soured on me. Prepare to perish. Tricky tonic. Pesky pest problems call for alchemical solutions. Gods, that's bitter. I didn't mean to use that one, but that works too. A little poison never killed any... Oh, wait, I lied. Oh, well. You know, I should probably focus Loshkana. Wait, Elleret's got like 1 billion... Oh dear. God, she has a lot of different buffs. Time to break out the Elleret special. Those tonics are bound to take their toll if she's not careful. Oh, I know. Why don't we set your heads a spinning? Oh, is this gonna be the... Yes! Not exactly what I was hoping for, but close enough. Ah, what a marvelous mess you're in. If you don't hurry, it'll only get messier. I'm fumbling my healing buttons a little bit. I was hoping for the spinning mechanic from Elzadal's Legacy, I think is the dungeon. It's probably elsewhere. Until me just begun, my dears. I have plenty more where that came from. Yeah. Wait, did Elorette also have the spinning mechanic? I don't think she did. Oh, my head. She's not having a good time. I grow weary of your tenacity. Mammoths to your positions. I don't feel so good. Hey, look. A bespoke barrier mechanic involving mammoths. Oh. One of them, they self-destructed and sent her into the air. Oh, for the love of... Pull yourself together, Elorette. I'll be fine. Just a few more droughts. God, she's like... She's got like a billion stacks of every buff. This is the clowniest of the quests, I think. I think this is out-clowning the magic DPS one. Oh, right, poison, yes. Okay, that's what the... Oh, even my ally is her also. That's funny. Oh, also like bespoke UI for a lock on the... There were like locks on the enemy list? I've never seen that before. She's using Fester as a tank buster, I knew it. Does Fester still exist at all outside of this? And like squadrons? Defective mammoths. I'll summon the defective mammoths. I'm sorry, the what? No, not me! Faulty little shites! What in the hell are you doing? Initiating self-destruct protocol, that's what. Okay, this is a really fun way to do the spiral AoEs. Oh, I forgot Summoner still had it. Right, I have this too. Right, I could have put Cardia on her. Also, Poison Orb is here now. Leave this to me, Sucro. Just keep an eye on Elorette. Obsidian Zenith. Stubborn worms, I'll end you. Do you hear me? Wait, what did she just use as a tank buster? Try Disaster. She really does just miss Old Summoner. Hell yeah. You are rotten to the core. Why do you persist? God damn it all! She's taking more tonics. Oh, she immediately got every status effect. No, no, my tonics, they betrayed me! You've got it, like every bad status. I don't feel so good.
Clown.
One more for the road. Okay, the healer quest line is definitely the most clown of all of them. Enough, Elleret. We must escape while we still can. A smoke bomb, quickly. Fine. Have it your way. They're gonna Team Rocket blasting off again in a second when she misses with this. Or uses the wrong one. Wait, that's a goblin mate! They really did team. No! You throw the days you made enemies in the Unbound! The star and everything? God, Hildebrand Dawntrail is gonna be a trip, isn't it? Jeez.
To the stars. Let's go, Mega Man. Sorry, it's by email. The revolution.
Ah, the email.
Destroy.
I think that was my favorite of the fights so far too, just because it was very silly. Battle Network 7 looking good. Yeah. Was there already a Junkman.exe? Probably, right? Because, like, that was the first Robot Master I thought of to be associated with email crimes. Junkman, like from 7. Trash Man also would work if they needed to invent a variant. Oh yeah, there is, right. Well, I guess they just have to invent Spam Man EXE or something. Time to make a Mega Man Battle Network shitpost video game with the worst guys in it. The worst mans that I can think of. She's left quite the mess behind her. Nothing the heart sting can't detoxify, though. Let's hurry and clear away the poison. I accidentally opened my computer's calendar for a second. There you are, Sucro. We came running once we heard the explosion, but I'm pleased to see you're none the worse for wear. God, if we get to, like, the conclusion of all these quests, whenever that shows up, and, like, the lady from the tank one is, like, asleep, and then this lady, like, lands in the middle of their dramatic, like, group pose that they're trying to do. Because she's been in the air the whole time or something. That would be funny to me. Nod. Elleret and Kokonoa picked up the wrong explosive. We should consider ourselves fortunate that goblin bombs resemble unbound smoke bombs. Copy booms and friendly faces win the day. Inbreakers go flying skyward. We made our rounds of the long stop as well. The enemy mammoths patrolling the place have all gone lifeless. Your treasure is safe, I trust. Nod. Yes, thanks to Sucro's support. Very good. Should those troublemakers survive the impending fall, they won't pose the same threat without it. They do happen to show their sorry faces around here again. I've notified the Yellow Jackets to be on the lookout for them. They send their regards and their deepest gratitude, of course. What do you think the odds are that in the final quest they will somehow find like a dragon eye and try to become the Knights of the Round and be like a comedy Thornton? Or like some sort of equivalent of that with some other artifact? What do you think the odds of comedy Thornton are? Knights of the Unbound? Anyone? Maybe they'll like summon a Megazord. I don't know. I hope they do some evil Super Sentai team nonsense. I'm excited for the conclusion of this role quest line whenever that is available. They do happen to show their sorry faces around here again. I've notified the Yellow Jackets to be on the lookout for them. They send their regards and their deepest gratitude, of course. Nod. I feel like maybe I should have saved the healer one for last, because the other two aren't going to be this... They're not going to be this,
Clown!
as this one. I think this was maybe the best one. As far as clown goes. Yeah, people haven't summoned a primal recently. Big thanks to Uplander. Many, many big thanks. The heart sting is safe again. Thank you for everything, Sucro. What would the primal of the Unbound be? They seek to cause chaos and disrupt things. But we've already killed chaos. What are they gonna do? Summon Jack Garland? And then get destroyed by Jack Garland? Captain Planet. There's gotta be an evil Captain Planet, right? Because there's like a whole bunch of pollution villains, but I think there is probably at least one point. Is it literally just Captain Pollution? Yeah, I felt like there was. Yeah. Yeah, that sure is evil Captain Planet. Alright, looking at him. There's a gif of him bathing in poison. Got his costume having the planet like cracked in half by a lightning bolt. That is also his neckline. That's pretty funny. And you too, Brayflox. We might not have found Eleret and Kokonoa without you. Yeah, exactly. Brayflox happy gives hand lending. Important for all good gobbies to offer hand lending to fellow gobby friends. It's an honor to be counted among your gobby friends. We should also be allowed to play as a goblin, I think. In addition to mammoths. That's my opinion. Now, as eager as I am to get the heart sting... Also elaborate. Just add playable everything out of nowhere. No, they wouldn't. That would be way too much work to do. I don't mean to be like, do a bunch of work, development team, but... I just think there should be more funny little guys that you can play as. Or funny little ladies. Or funny little creatures. You know, there should be more things that are funny and little, in general. Of all genders and pronouns. Now, as eager as I am to get the heart sting safely back to Taro, I'd like to say my goodbyes to everyone here first, if that's alright. Waisom and Zarek deserve to know how everything transpired in the end, for one thing. Shall we make our way to Ailport? Nod. Yeah, that's true. Oh. I don't think I'd seen this chocobo barding up close at any point. That's really good. Robot Chocobo is pretty awesome. I don't know how you get that one. Also, allow me to propose the following for Goblin Mask options. Part 1, they are similar to Viera and Hrothgar. Probably. But also, Part 2, they can wear a funny hat on top of the mask. Especially the tiny top hat. Really what I'm saying is that, like, they have precedent for faces and hairs and stuff that you can't really use hats on normally. But also they should put a funny top hat on top of a goblin. Sucro, it's good to see you and Miss Loshkana well. That was a weird line read. I'm relieved our troubles are over, but I've never been good at farewells. You know what? I guess you almost could play as a mammoth now. Or you could, like, roleplay as one. If you were a Lalafell using the Vanguard helmet of Fending that has those two little... that has, like, the adjustable eyes with the visor, you could make it not the triangle, but, like, the pause sign looking eyes. And be like, I'm a future mammoth from the future. You could do that if you wanted. Probably. Well met, you two. How fares the hunt for Elorette? She exploded. There's a mod for that helmet to put in the cat smiley. Also, yes, that is exactly the eyes. Also, if you mod this game, you get killed by the Yellow Jackets or something, probably. Sent them flying, did you? Now those are what I call good tidings. I think they confuse a goblin explosive for their own smoke bombs. Ha! Serves them right, I say. With Miss Loshkana's heirloom returned, we can breathe a collective sigh of relief. I, for one, am pleased there'll be no more risk of poisoned elixirs. I wouldn't have wished those hiccups on my worst enemy. Nod. By the by, Miss Loshkana, I know you traveled far to get here, but I didn't realize you hailed from Tyrol. That's quite a voyage. Will you be heading home soon? Yes, that's right. Vilbrand is a fascinating place, but my village is probably worried sick about me. And the Heartsting too, of course. Though your time here was short, you'll be sorely missed. We still have much to learn, but one day perhaps we might find our way to Tyrol as well. Oh, that would be wonderful. And when you do, I'll look forward to hearing all about your adventures. I can't believe I forgot to put Cardia on her for most of that fight. And you! We had a feeling you were no ordinary adventurer. Imagine our surprise when we learned you were the savior of the realm herself. One of our Yellow Jacket acquaintances boasted about meeting the Warrior of Light while investigating the cereal poisonings, and that's when it dawned on us. She sends her regards, by the way. That one Yellow Jacket mentioned, but also not named still. We've moms to go before we reach your lofty heights, but God's willing, we'll try to rise to the challenge. Indeed, you've given me much to aspire to as a fellow healer, and I shall do my utmost to follow your shining example. I forgot to put Cardia on the only other person in my party, though. Be well, you two, and may we meet again on distant shores. Thank you both for your help. I'll never forget it. It's time I returned to Tuliolo. It would mean the world to me if you'd come too, Sucro. I wouldn't want to report our success to Naipene without you. Nod. Is that Rugadin emote? Is that their joy for male Rugadin? Because it's always been quite silly. Wait, who the heck are you? Two random named people standing around that I feel like I should know anything about, but I don't. One of them whom has a boat called the Ice Princess, apparently. Drums. Oh right, I just remembered that I did actually make a glamour for Viper since I had that funny hat. Zucro play baseball? With swords? I guess. This will be relevant whenever we get to the melee ones. Funny baseball. That's her Sonic Riders outfit? Oh no. Why can't I have a hoverboard? Why doesn't Solution 9 have hoverboards? Next expansion? Maybe. Sucro needs a hoverboard right now. Or at least a skateboard. They should give you a skateboard or hoverboard and then have it have like a kickflip mount action. Loshkana and Sucro as well. Your combined presence here can only mean one thing. Sucro and I have brought the Heartsting home. So you have, so you have. I regret that I could not assist you, but I'm relieved that all is well. Words cannot express my gratitude to you both. Smile. Taking back the Heartsting was no easy task, but I learned a great deal on my journey to Eorzea. One of the Unbound, a man named Kokonoa, possessed an inherent immunity to poison, built up by years of regularly ingesting small amounts. Rather than relying solely on the Scorpion's gifts to detoxify us, perhaps we might learn from those traditions and build up a stronger immunity of our own. It would be prudent to prepare ourselves in case something like this ever happens again. If we're to continue living among the deadly, perhaps it's time we found new ways to overcome the challenges we face. Throughout my life in the village, I thought I knew everything there was to know about the Heartsting, but now I understand that the Scorpion's gifts can easily become a curse in the wrong hands. Its power can poison a single water source, threaten countless lives on a whim. Yet at the same time, its detoxifying powers can save just as many. I began to wonder, could the Heartsting provide succor outside our village? Should it? Or will the risks prove too great? Excellent questions all. Knowing what the Heartsting is capable of outside our borders, we must consider this carefully for the future of our people. Yeah, that seems to be a recurring theme. That too, yeah. Balance in all things and all that. Like, no one is deciding we should never use this artifact ever again. So there's no, like... This isn't like an artifact bad situation either. I feel like there are some contrasts, but at the same time there's like a consistent theme of like... I guess the consistent theme is, if you put it in a broad perspective, like understanding yourself better through understanding others. Learning from others to learn about yourself, and learning from other societies to learn about yours. And incorporate the lessons that you learn to make things better. That seems to be the general idea. I'm certain your father will wish to speak more of it upon our return. Nod. As you can see, our community has much to consider if we're to keep thriving. For the moment, I'm simply glad the Heartsting is back in Toral, and I can't thank you enough for your help. Until I met you, I'd never hunted alongside a healer, but knowing I had your support filled me with courage. Yours is a heartening presence, what I'm going to miss dearly. You have my gratitude and trust, Sucro, now and forever. But as much as I'd like to, I won't keep you any longer. Nayepene and I have a long trek home. I wish you all the best, and I know we'll meet again someday. What if all of the Unbound combine their powers to summon a Primal, and then everyone we've helped combines their artifacts to summon like a Megazord, and we fight the Primal in like a giant cool robot, not unlike in the Whirlit questline with Sapphire Weapon? What if that happens for some reason? The artifacts do seem like they're a set, given the similarities. A Heartsting's a heavy burden. Basically, I think we should pilot a cool robot more often. Also, I've been doing custom deliveries. Also, did I mention that the Viper level up achievement is Viper Away Your Tears? I probably did. So, we now have ranged physical and melee physical left. But I think I might slow the pace a bit. I might just do like a short stream today. We get it, you wipe. God. Because I would end up going for like 5 hours if it takes this time roughly. And like, that's not unusual for me, but also I need to like take care of myself a bit more. I'm gonna run circles around this dog for a second. So yeah, next time, probably physical ranged, and then melee ranged last. I could be convinced to reverse the order, because there's no particular reason for doing it that way. But yeah. But what have my funny retainers done while I wasn't looking? Because 3 of them are on quick ventures, because they don't have good enough equipment to do like a recent exploration venture. Wait a minute. Forgot about the Ruby Tideblade. That's a little similar to the Maelstrom one we saw earlier. Not quite as Kingdom Hearts as that one was. Blade of the Forgiven. But yeah. This has been Final Fantasy XIV. We did the healer role quests, and they were... I mistimed one of those, but they were roughly about that, basically. So, next time, another role quest line. Sucro has decided to sit instead of take a nap. Oh no, she's taking a nap anyway. Sucro, no. Sucro, the voice clip is really distinct from that animation in the doze emote. But anyway. Thank you all for watching. This was a shorter stream, but it was still a stream. And that was a fun questline. I hope you have a good rest of your day and or night, and I will see you next time for some sort of physical DPS role quest. Good night, everyone.